Good morning. Mackenzie Johnston with Tri-State Livestock News, bringing you your Tuesday morning headlines concerning fair cattle markets. Sponsored by Sandhills Beef Company of Mullen, Nebraska. Eat like a rancher. America First means buying directly from the producer. Be the change. To learn about everything Sandhills Beef Company has to offer, head on over to their website, sandhillsbeefco.com. Also sponsored by RCAF USA, fighting for independent American cattle producers. Please support the RCAF rollover fundraiser at Bassett Livestock Auction in Bassett, Nebraska this coming Wednesday, February 17th. For more information, you can go ahead and call Bassett Livestock, or you can give Karina Jones a jingle at 308-760-3466. According to Successful Farming, back in November, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker introduced the Justice for Black Farmers Act. That bill went on to die when Congress adjourned in December. As of Monday, 6 Democratic senators, including Booker, who was recently appointed to the Senate Agriculture Committee, revived the legislation. 5 of these senators sit on the Senate Ag Committee, and that committee will actually be the one to handle this bill. The Justice for Black Farmers Act was brought forward to end discrimination at the USDA and to expand Black-owned farmland by up to 32 million acres through land grants over the next 10 years. According to Booker, the legislation will take bold steps to forgive debt and restore the land that has been lost in order to empower a new generation of Black farmers to succeed and thrive. If this bill is passed, an independent board would review appeals of civil rights complaints filed against the USDA, investigate complaints of discrimination within the department, and oversee the farmer-elected county committees that direct operations at local USDA offices. Additionally, this legislation would increase funding for a USDA program to resolve the heirs property issue of land passed from one generation of a family to the next without a clear title. A new equitable land access service would issue land grants of 160 acres apiece up to 20,000 Black individuals annually through 2030. So a few other facts to consider with this legislation. If a sufficient number of applications are filed, the Ag Secretary will give out no less than 20,000 land grants to Black individuals each year until 2030. That 20,000 number, that is just a minimum. There is no maximum set for how many land grants they're going to give out. So how it all is supposed to work. The USDA Secretary will purchase land from willing sellers at a fair market value, and then the land grants of 160 acres will be given to eligible Black individuals at no cost, completely free. So if you figure that 20,000 land grants at 160 acres over 9 years equals 28.8 million acres, and again, that's just the minimum, no maximum set. So according to the USDA, the average cropland value from 2006 to 2020 was $4,100. So with 160 acres, each recipient would be receiving $656,000 worth of land for free. With 20,000 land grants being given out every year, that would cost over $13 billion a year until 2030. $13 billion a year until 2030 coming from the U.S. government that is already experiencing more than $1 trillion deficit. So that equates to a grand total of $118 billion worth of land purchased for 180,000 recipients. And again, keep in mind those 180,000 recipients, that is just the minimum. Just the minimum. With all that being said, in this legislation, there is nothing noted about land price. Nothing noted. So think about what land price is worth today. What's it going to be in 5 years, in 8 years? Think back what it was 9 years ago. I mean, what are we looking for? What are we looking at for land prices here in the near future that our government is going to be paying for these land grants, if this bill is passed, to give out this land for free? And while we're giving out land for free, we have we have young individuals, young farmers and ranchers that want to get into agriculture, that would give anything to go out in negative 30-degree temperatures and have cattle to take care of. But they can't, because they can't make it work financially. But at the same time, we want to give out land for free. Or consider the farmers and ranchers that are just having a hard time breaking even, having a hard time holding on to their operation because we haven't had fair markets in quite some time. They're barely getting by, and I mean, it's a year-to-year deal sometimes. You know, like, is the banker going to keep us going? Is it going to work? Is this operation going to continue to work for these farmers and ranchers? But again, at the same time, we have this legislation being brought forward that we're just going to hand out farmland for free. It just really makes a person think. Tri-State Livestock News has reported that on February 11th, the Montana House Agriculture Committee heard testimony on House Bill 324, the Montana Country of Origin Placarding Act of 2021. The goal of HB 324 is to restore transparency in meat labeling by giving American beef and pork producers access to a more honest marketplace while allowing consumers to purchase meat produced in the United States. Representative Frank Smith introduced the legislation, which also has an additional 19 bipartisan co-sponsors. Montana is no stranger to cool. Back in 2005, a Montana Cool Bill was enacted after being advanced by the Northern Plains Resource Council. This bill paved the way for a federal cool law that was then later passed in 2009. Once the federal law went into effect, Montana Cool sunsetted since it was no longer needed. Unfortunately, federal cool was later repealed in 2015 when multinational meatpacking corporations applied pressure on U.S. lawmakers through international trade agreements. Since the federal repeal occurred, a loophole now exists that allows imported beef from other countries to be labeled product of USA simply if it is repackaged here in the United States. HB 324 would clarify these misleading labels through grocers making an effort to display placards, signs at meat counters differentiating beef and pork into two categories using the following language: born, raised, and processed in the USA, or imported, origin unlabeled. Jeannie Alderson, a rancher located near Bernie, Montana, described the economic toll imposed on ranchers by the current misleading labeling system during her testimony to the committee. On our ranch and every other ranch in our state, we have felt the importance of good country of origin labeling laws. In 2014, when we had National Cool, our steer calves brought $2.52 per pound. But in 2015, when cool was abolished, we only received $1.50 per pound, stated Alderson. Alderson went on to say that ranchers are just looking for a fair price for their hard work and good cattle. The House Agriculture Committee is expected to vote on HB 324 this week. That is all I have for news for you guys this morning. I hope everyone's week is off to a great start. Again, I hope everyone is staying warm. Have yourself a terrific Tuesday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.